What is good, YouTube? What is good, YouTube? Good morning. Good hair morning at that, too. Good morning, good morning. From Central Texas. I hope you guys are doing well. Baseball postseason has kind of started, I guess. So I wanted to go over that since I have a little bit of time. And I want to go over a subscriber's question. Braves got destroyed, and these are teams that are playing today too. Braves got destroyed by the Padres. Mets, New York Mets handled the Brewers 8-4. I'm sorry, the Braves lost. Oh, Braves had 0 and the Padres had 4. Pitching, let me tell you, is very important in baseball. Kansas City Royals beat the Orioles, which is kind of shocker. 1-0. And then the Tigers beat the Astros, which fuck the Astros. I think it's just a little bit more insulting because Mr. Rest in peace, Mr. Pete Rose, that the Astros can still play baseball after the cheating shit that they did, stealing hand signs. Come on now. To win a pinnacle baseball series. I mean, how long were the Astros stealing signs? And yet, to me, Mr. Pete Rose is the greatest baseball player I've ever seen. Because I did get to see him in the early 80s, 70s, play baseball. Gotta ask my mom what the game was and everything, though. Because I don't really remember anything of the game, but she talks about it a lot, or she used to. Anyways, yeah. I'm glad the Tigers beat the next 10 years, but that's besides the point. That's the first part of this live. But I also want to get a shout out to a subscriber that's been asking me really good questions. This question, I had no clue what he was asking, so I had to use the internet. Dylan O'Shea, 1864. You asked about the 9 Tech, right? The 9 Tech, typically, the wide 9 Tech player is a pure pass rusher, usually a speed rusher. Aligns wide, angled back to angled with the quarterback. His whole job is to the quarterback, defensive end who excels in getting off the ball. But they don't call them defensive ends no more. They're called uh, edge defenders. I want to say edge rushers, but whatever. He's just a guy that stands. I guess to me it would be the first. I would call him hybrid outside linebacker slash defensive end. Has to be Derek Thomas of the Kansas City Chiefs or James Harrison of the Pittsburgh Steelers. James Harrison was an outside linebacker that played defensive end. So that's the first hybrid edge rusher I've seen. And it's just a guy that goes after the quarterback. Uh, uh, TJ Watt. Micah Parson really isn't that type of a player. He does get to the quarterback, but he really doesn't fall back in coverage. But he does go get the quarterback. But he's usually in a three tech, and he can switch sides too. So would you consider him a nine tech? Let me know in the comment section. But Dylan O'Shea, I hope that answers your question for a nine tech. Nine tech is anybody that goes after the quarterback. Now, you also asked, do I think O-line play is down? Kind of, yeah, because you really can't put your hands on the quarterback no more. So not a lot of defensive players are rushing to get to go to the quarterback. I say offensive line play is a lot higher in college than it would be in the pros. But yeah, I don't think offensive play is as high as it used to be. Now, which one do I like, offensive line or defensive line? That's kind of a tough question because I love both. But I'd have to go with the offensive line because my favorite player right now that's playing is Quentin Nelson. So I'm gonna have to go. I'm gonna have to go offensive line, but that can change because I do like Jalen Carter for the Eagles. Man, good lord, he's a nice defensive player to watch. And then you asked me, Dylan O'Shea, 1864, asked me, which coach do I like the best, offensive coach or defensive coach? It's like chess, man. You love both sides because you have to know both sides. Because you can't move until a side moves. And I know people say that the quarterback is the most important thing. I kind of beg to differ. If the offensive line doesn't play their part, you can't have no quarterback, right? If the offensive line doesn't dictate the defensive line, or the defensive line doesn't dictate the offensive line, you still won't have a quarterback because he'll be flat on his back both times. So to me, offensive line and defensive line is the most important thing on the football field. Can't really do nothing if a quarterback's flat on his back, right? Dylan O'Shea, 1864. I hope that answers your questions. I might be able to do some videos on the baseball playoffs that are about to start happening. I am still working on my start sit video. Check out my bird videos. I caught a picture and a video of a sparrowhawk. I didn't even know those things existed. But if you check out my playlist, Birdies, and if you check out the community post, you will see what that bird looks like. Man, that thing was amazing. At first, I thought it was a raccoon in my tree. No, no, no. It was a big ass bird. Please like, share, and subscribe. And follow me on Twitter/X at Girls Advice with Views of Fantasy Football. Peace.